started at 6:30.
Okay, no problem. I just wanted to make sure that I joined early and that you knew that I was here.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hmm. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining ANC 5B for its June community meeting. I want to do a quick check-in to see who is on the line. Commissioners, please unmute yourself. Commissioner Carley, are you present? Commissioner Higgins is here. Commissioner Piekara. Commissioner Amin.
Present.
Commissioner Costello. Okay, fantastic, great. Good evening, everyone. We are calling our meeting to order. I see we have everyone. Okay, there we go. All right, so we're going to take our official roll call. Commissioner Piekara, are you doing roll call today?
I'm happy to do roll call. Commissioner Carley. Commissioner Carley, Commissioner Higgins.
Present.
Piekara is present. Commissioner Amin.
Present.
And Commissioner Costello.
Present.
We have quorum.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Piekara. We do have a quorum. We are going to move forward with the approval of our agenda. Has everyone had an opportunity to take a look at the agenda? Are there any additions or deletions? Okay.
I move to approve the agenda.
Okay, I have one change if nobody else has any. I know that Director Delano Hunter, he will be number 2. He has to come on board and leave. So after DC Plug, we're going to have Director Delano Hunter come on.
Sounds
Any
good.
objections to the change? Okay. All right, a motion to adjust the meeting agenda.
Can you guys hear me?
Now we can, thank you.
Okay, thank you. I also wanted to postpone my resolution for traffic calming, so you can take that off the agenda for tonight.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, a move to adjust the agenda, change the agenda with the comments just given.
I second that.
Okay, a motion has been placed on the floor and seconded. All those in favor of the change on the agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Any objections? Would you like roll call? Okay. The ayes have it. The agenda has been updated and corrected and so moved. So thank you very much. The ayes have it. All right, so we're going to go ahead and move ahead to our Secretary, Commissioner Piekara. You have the floor, ma'am.
I unfortunately do not have the minutes ready, so I'm going to ask for some grace. I do have a video, which I know we can use in place of minutes if everyone would like. I also have a transcript, but I have not yet gone through to fully flesh out everything. So I am happy to bring this to the body to approve in September. I also believe that we haven't approved our April minutes. And so we can do that now if everyone would like, or we can move that to September as well. Actually, I think we probably have to do it now, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, okay. So everyone has been sent the minutes, and I do not have them up right now, but if you give me a moment, I can. Let's see here. And did anyone have any changes to the minutes while I'm pulling
I
them
don't
up?
have the
Okay.
minutes.
Oh, my apologies. They just went to the commission.
Okay, I
You
stopped
don't have a
sharing my
draft to
screen.
read? You don't have a draft to read, your notes?
I do have a draft. Once they are approved, we put them
No,
up
but
public.
you should have something for this meeting now.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me share my screen.
Yeah, I stopped sharing so you could share the minutes.
Okay.
Or share what you had.
Yes, ma'am. I had to stop sharing first, though.
Okay.
All right. So these are the minutes. They are a few pages. So if there are, I don't know if other commissioners had a chance
If you
to.
could read them to us because it's too hard to see, and you could do it quicker.
We can. There are 6 pages. So I worry that reading all of it, I think kind of we had quorum, we approved the agenda, we approved the minutes. We had the treasurer's report about, what was that, $6,035 for the balance. We had a presentation from MPD on the crime, as well as from the mayor's office and McDuffie's office on budget seasons and Community Day of Action. Also had information from the National Guard on the Youth Challenge. Then Commissioner Carley had a presentation on a BZA application. We went to resolutions. BZA application was passed. The resolution to approve, or the resolution to deny the application was approved. And then we had, I don't think we had any other votes that week, or yeah, that month. So that was the only resolution in April. Any questions?
Are you going to place a motion on the floor?
I will place the, oh, sorry, I was trying to see if any of, I believe it was Delta or anyone had any questions. But yes, I placed the motion on the floor to approve the minutes.
I
I
second
have a
this.
question, Madam
Yes.
Chairman.
Yes.
We don't have enough information to approve this draft of the minutes. So we don't need a motion. We just need to know that the next thing, when we have a meeting or in between, that these good minutes, the good minutes need to be sent out, or draft of the minutes need to be sent out. So when we have the next meeting, we can approve them.
Okay, the minutes were sent out to the commission ANC 5B for us to take a look at. So that we share the minutes so you can know what took place in the last meeting. Does the commissioners have any objections to the minutes or insertions or edits?
No objections from me.
Commissioner Carley, Commissioner Amin.
No, I have no objections at this time.
Okay, a motion has been placed on the floor. Is there a second for the motion?
Seconded.
Okay, the motion has been placed on the floor and seconded. Call for the vote. All those in favor of accepting the April 28th, 2021 minutes, say aye, and we can do a roll call
Aye.
if you like.
Yeah, I'm happy to do a roll call. Commissioner Carley.
Abstention.
Okay. Commissioner Higgins.
Aye.
Commissioner Piekara is an aye. Commissioner Amin.
Aye.
Commissioner Costello.
Aye.
The ayes
The
have it.
motion has been placed on the floor and seconded with 4 ayes, 0 nays, and 1 abstention.
Okay.
I thought Carly said nay.
She abstained. Okay, and we're going to move on to Commissioner Amin for the treasurer's report.
Yes. Good evening, everyone. Yeah, it's still evening. Good evening, everyone. So, Treasury report. Since we are going to take our vote later, I am going to at our current our available balance is $7,994.04. We received a district allotment commissioners on June. It cleared our account June 21st, 2021. That's our allotment for $3,285.94. And we still have a invoice that's outstanding for June, and that is our Sprint bill. And Chair Higgins, I found our Sprint bill amongst the mail in the lobby of our building. So I have that bill, and I will connect with you, Commissioner Piekara, to get that paid.
Question, Commissioner. I mean, do we know, and I'm not sure how we received the allotments, but I'm assuming that allotment was for Q3 of 2020? Or is that for Q?
Yeah, Commissioner, that's a really good question. And I don't have the answer for you, but I can find out. I'm still trying to understand how allotments work as well.
Yep.
So I definitely, when I noticed the allotment, other than containing my excitement from all the hard work that we've done, that that's something that I find out for us. Would QFR release that allotment?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I
It's
will-
just helpful to figure out what else we have kind of coming to us versus what we've already received. But thank you for taking that on.
I didn't hear you, Commissioner Piekara. What was your question or your comment?
Oh, I said yes, please. That would just be helpful for us to get a sense of what we still have coming towards us or coming for us in terms of allotments versus what we've already received.
Yes, exactly. Agreed.
Yeah. Thank you for all your hard work on this, Commissioner Amin.
There's the treasurer's report.
Thank you so very much. Now we
Thank
will
you, Madam
move
Chair.
to our MPD report. And I see that Captain Terry is on the line. You have the floor.
Thank you. I'm not sure if the 5th district is here, but I'm with the 4th district, so I know a small part of PSA.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, a small part of PSA 405 obviously is in your agency. So, just over the last 30 days, just looking at the crime stats compared to the previous 30 days before that, most of your crime is down in both violent and property crime. One thing we are seeing is right around the University Heights area. Some theft from autos and some theft stolen autos. We did have 2 theft stolen autos, but it looks like one was a suspect that was known to the complainant, and one was a jump in. Somebody left their car running, and someone hopped in and took it for a ride. So aside from that, the theft stolen autos we've actually seen pick up, especially in the last 2 or 3 days, in the 4,000 blocks of 7th, 8th, and 9th Street. And specifically targeted were Honda and Acura vehicles. What we're seeing is that the airbags are actually removed from those vehicles. So really, if you're not leaving property in your vehicle, but they're still breaking in and stealing parts off it, that's obviously, there's not much you can do about that. So, but what we are asking is that people just pay attention. If they see anything suspicious, any strange vehicles circling in the area, that they just go ahead and call us and we can come out and check it out. Because obviously, I know in Maryland and Virginia, they're seeing similar thefts. And it's most likely multiple suspects in a vehicle. And they're doing multiple thefts overnight. I think total in the 4th district, I think we had 12 the other night. So they're obviously using their vehicle to circle the areas. And then we did have 2 weapon recoveries in PSA 405 in the last 30 days. One in the unit block of Hamilton Street, and then one in the 4,000 block of 13th Street. Aside from that, we haven't seen a whole lot of violent crime. There were 4 robberies, but one in the 4900 block of North Cap, the 4500 block of Fort Totten, the 3600 block of Harewood Road, and the 100 block of Varnum Street. And all those are still open cases. We're still investigating those cases. But aside from that, nothing else really to report.
Does
Are
anyone
there any
have
questions?
any questions for Captain Terry on the 4th District side? Okay. Do we have 5th District represented this evening? 5th District MPD? Okay. So we're going to go ahead and move forward.
The 5th district is working. I'm sorry, the 5th
Huh?
district is working. I'm sorry, the 5th district is working a couple shootings right now, so there might not be anyone on the line for that.
Okay. Thank you
Yeah,
so
sorry, I
much
meant
for
to say
letting
that.
us know that.
Yeah, there's
Thank
a big contingent of folks on Rhode Island out right now.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Captain Terry. We appreciate you spending some time with us this evening and giving us an update. All
Thank
right,
you.
so we will move to Ms. Butler from one of our mokers from the mayor's office.
Good
Ms.
evening.
Butler?
Yes, can you guys hear and see me?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good evening, everyone. Thank you all so much for inviting me to the meeting. I'm going to be very quick because I know you have a packed agenda. My first update is Stay DC. That is our program for anybody who's behind in rent. If you know anybody who's behind in rent who has tried to apply for Stay DC and is having issues, please have them email me or call me immediately, or you can take their contact information and forward it to me. But we know that we've been getting a lot of complaints about the program and people not getting through to the customer service line or not getting updates. So if you know anybody who's having trouble, please have them contact me. And very quickly, again, the program is for anybody who's been affected by COVID-19 and can't pay their rent. The program will pay 12 months of back rent and 3 months of future rent and will help you get utility assistance. So please spread the word if you know somebody who needs that assistance, and please contact me if you know of somebody who's having trouble. Does anybody have any questions?
I do, Brittany.
Yes.
Hi, Brittany. This is Ra. And my question, is this program only for residential property? I have constituents in my single amendment district, and they are a nonprofit, and they have been affected by COVID, and they are behind, and they're trying to receive some type of relief and or assistance. Do you know of anything that we can help nonprofits in the neighborhood?
Absolutely. There was a nonprofit grant initiative that they were giving to nonprofits who were behind and affected by COVID. Commissioner Ra, I can email you after the meeting with that specific information. As of right now, Stay DC is for renters, or it is for landlords who are trying to assist their tenants to get their rent paid.
Thank you, Brittany. I will look forward to that email, and I will reach out to you tomorrow via phone to a follow-up conversation with a little bit more details. Hopefully, we can assist our constituents.
Copy that.
Thank you. Copy.
Any other questions from the meeting?
Yes.
Becky?
Can you, and Brittany,
Yes.
I have referred a couple of people to State DC, and you just said they can reach out to you if they have any problems. How?
Yes.
How will they reach out to you?
They can have my email. I drop my email in chat, and I also drop my phone number. Or if you want to collect their information and just forward it to me all at once, whatever's easier for you, Commissioner.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions?
No, I just wanted to say thank you. I had referred a couple of people to Brittany, and Brittany, I really appreciate you jumping right on it and responding to the young lady, which gave her a little more comfort as to what her particular situation was. So I thank you very much for jumping in and assisting.
Thank you guys so much. And again, my information is in the chat in case anybody has any questions, not even just about Stay DC, but if you have any other questions or concerns, please do not hesitate to contact me. I'm going to put myself on mute now. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you. Thank you. So at this time, we're going to move forward to Ms. Sislo from Councilman McDuffie's office.
Hi, good evening, Commissioner. Good evening, everyone. I'm Kelly Sislo, Ward 5 Constituent Services Director. Just wanted to give a quick update. I know Commissioner Piekara, you mentioned there was some activity on Rhode Island Avenue. We've been on the phone with Watch Command. There's no incident on Rhode Island Avenue that Watch Command's aware of, but unfortunately there was a shooting at 13th and Downing over in Area 5C, and that was a homicide tonight. They think it's, MPD is still investigating, but they believe it was a neighbor dispute possibly, so we're trying to get more information on that. So yeah, but if you have other information about Rhode Island Avenue, let me know, and then we'll get back in touch with Watch Command. But I just want to make that clear.
Thank you. Yeah, check. They were on the corner of 16th and Rhode Island for a little while, about 5 cars with lights flashing, but I will, I'll see if they're still out there.
Okay. And then just an update on the Stay DC. We've also had people contact our office, and I just want to caution for everybody, if you're a landlord, you're only eligible if you actually have a business license to rent your property. So anybody who may be renting their property illegally without a valid DCRA business license to rent the property wouldn't be eligible. So keep that in mind. The remedy to that is get a valid business license from DCRA. I think for a one-family rental, it's under $200. So we're encouraging people to do that and then still applying. That said, so budget landed last month when we were on the call. There was over $60 million in public safety supports and human health and services support. So the budget's still in negotiation, but that was a positive note. So I wanted to share that here. And then if anybody has any unemployment insurance claims that need to be escalated, reach out to our office and we can help you with that. And I'm happy to take any issues that anybody might have.
Hi, Kelly. Ra again.
Hey, Ra.
Kelly, who's from council member's office will attend 5D CAC tomorrow?
I need to find out. Normally it's Sandra, but she's working on the budget. So I think we're trying to offload time from the ledge team. So I don't know right now, but I can find out.
Okay, if you could update me on that. Thank you.
Sure. All right. Anybody else? Okay.
Any other questions? Excuse me, I'm sorry. Any other questions for Ms. Sislo? All right.
I'll put my info in the chat as well.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Sure.
Excuse me, you guys. All right, so we're gonna move on down to our presentation. We're gonna start with Miss Laisha Daughtery from DC Plug, and then we will move down to Mr. Hunter, Miss Bernard, and then Barrington Tolliver. You have
All
the
right.
floor, Miss Daughtery.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Chairwoman, and thank you so much, Commissioners, for having me today. My name is Laisha Daughtery, and I work in PEPCO Government Affairs. And today I am bringing a presentation on behalf of the District of Columbia Powerline Underground Initiative, also known as DC Plug. Can you guys see the PowerPoint okay?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. All right. So the DC Plug initiative started around 2012. There was a big derecho that happened in DC, and lots of customers were out of power for a very long time. And so then Mayor Vincent Gray decided to establish a task force, and based on the recommendations of the task force, it was recommended that the District of Columbia government and PEPCO build a partnership to kind of prevent things like this from happening in the future. So the agency that we work with is DDOT, the District Department of Transportation. So it is a multi-year project. As you can see in the middle column, there's a PEPCO portion that's contributed of $250 million. There's a district portion and a DDOT portion. Again, the initiative is a multi-year initiative to underground up to 30 of the most vulnerable overhead distribution lines. If you go outside and you look at your power lines, the primary lines are the ones that are on the very, very top. Just to let you know that that as a part of this project, the power lines will be undergrounded, but the poles will stay there. The poles will still be there because utility poles do hold communications wires, and we are unable to underground communications wires. However, once we remove the primary wires, the poles will then be shortened, and it would be a shorter pole. And so this project will occur in wards 3, 4, 5, 7, and 8. The wires or overhead distribution lines in wards 1, 2, and 6 are already primarily underground. And so we are here to bring to you or to present to you the work that we will be doing in your community, which is feeder 14007 as a part of the first biennial plan, and 14008 as part of the second biennial plan. I will let you know that we are only in the design phases of this feeder. No construction has been started, and concluding this presentation in a couple months, we will then invite you all to an open house, a virtual open house. And in that open house, that is when we will go through streets of where the work will occur. We will also show any renderings of the work to be done. We also have a really cool video on our website that you all can take a look at that kind of explains the work that we plan to do. So again, I mentioned feeder 14007 as Ward 5, and that's a part of the first biennial plan, which we'll see there. We have made a filing with the Public Service Commission for the feeders in the second biennial plan, which you see listed here. And in September of this year, we'll be filing our third biennial plan, which will most likely be our last biennial plan for this project. And we do not know what feeders will be included in that process. So DC Plug major milestones. Again, this project came about in 2012. We broke ground on our primary feeder, our first feeder, which was in Ward 3. That was in May 2019. That feeder is 100% complete for design and construction. Right now, as mentioned, we are in the feeder phase. For your feeder, we are in the design phase. So DDOT handles all of the civil design, and PEPCO handles all of the electrical design. So DDOT comes first, and then PEPCO follows, but we all work together as a team. And we're all in design meetings. Public outreach is a major component of this project, as we have a very robust education plan component to make sure that residents are informed. So again, there will be a little bit of time before we start construction in your community, but we did want to alert you all to the design and what's forthcoming. As mentioned, one of the cool things about the DC Plug initiative is that we have an up to 100% CBE requirement set aside. And so our goal is to hire up to 100% CBEs and district-based businesses, as also along with district residents. Most recently, we had a contractor forum to kind of unite some of our primary contractors and subcontractors that are our CBEs and certified to work in the District of Columbia. I believe I mentioned previously our education plan, but this is a little bit of what our education plan looks like. So usually for our DC Plug initiative, we always start with a meeting with the council member. So we have met with the Ward 5 council member multiple times about this initiative. We're now meeting with you all about the initiative, and the next phase will be to invite you all and the commissioners and the entire community. So that includes anyone that's along the feeder. I believe that 14007 covers ANC's 5A, B, and C. So it's a pretty large feeder. It's probably one of our larger feeders in the project. And so what we'll do is we will invite you all to a virtual open house in which we will go through, again, the design. We will show renderings. We will, answer any questions you may have. We will go through any streets or any maps or any things you want to see. And so that is our time to really get into the in-depth portion of the project. We also execute outbound phone calls. So you may get a message or a phone call from PEPCO letting you know about any meetings that we may have or upcoming work. And we do have a unique project hotline, which is a 1844 number, which you can see on the screen. We have a project website, which is dcpluginfo.com, and we have a project email address, which is questions@dcpluginfo.com. And the reason why we have these dedicated lines is because, again, this is a joint project between PEPCO and DDOT, and so we want to make sure that everything is filtered through one medium of communication versus the respective agencies separately. So what are our next steps? Again, I mentioned that we, are attending the ANC, so thank you all again for having us today. If there are any civic association meetings that you think we should attend, we're happy to do that as well. We would just need to know the information of the community and, the date, and we'll definitely put on our calendars and figure out who will be able to attend. I mentioned the virtual open house, which you all should be on the lookout for. We're hoping to do that in early to mid fall, so it'll be a little bit of time, but we'll definitely keep you all posted. We do stakeholder communications, so any communication with specific residents that may have questions. We also place door hangers, and we have unique work site signs, which are basically construction signs with our DC Plug logo, email address, and phone number. And here again is our contact information. Our website is www.dcpluginfo.com. Our email address is questions@dcpluginfo.com. And our telephone number is 1-844-758-4146. And so that concludes my presentation. Chairwoman, I don't know if there are time for questions.
Yes, you had one in the chat from Joanna and Oliver, and they wanted to know, what is a feeder?
All right, so I'm going to do best as I can without an engineering background. But before I get started, I will say that if you visit our website, www.dcpluginfo.com, you go to About. There's a video on the website, and it kind of goes through the step-by-step of what is the feeder, how the project is going to work, et cetera, et cetera. So basically, a feeder is the distribution services that it's the primary lateral. So it's the top line on the poles, and that is the one that services customer. There is a secondary feeder that goes from the primary feeder to a couple of homes, but that's serviced as the primary servicer for electrical services on the primary lines. So again, that's my best without the engineering background, but it's basically the service, the electrical service that you receive is the feeder.
Would you be able to please drop that information in the chat? So if someone wants to go to that site to see that information, they'll have the information. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Do we have any more questions in reference to our DC Plug initiative? Fantastic. All right.
Awesome.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate your time and giving us the presentation this evening.
Thank you all so much.
Thank you. All right. So at this time, we will have Director Hunter from the Department of Parks and Recreation to come on board. He has some fantastic information for us this evening, and we want it all. So I know you're ready, Mr. Hunter. I know you're ready. Bring it on. You have the floor.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Commissioner, and good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to be before you this evening. Again, my name is Delano Hunter, and I serve as the Director of the DC Department of Parks and Recreation, and I'm a Ward 5 resident. I reside in 5CO4 in the Gateway community, so it's really good to see some familiar faces and hear some familiar voices and see some familiar names like Ms. Doherty, Ms. Penn, folks that I haven't seen in quite some time. I trust that you all are in good health and good spirits, and I'm really excited as an agency director that we are emerging from COVID and we're getting back to normal operations. So I'm here tonight primarily to discuss Mayor Bowser's proposed budget for FY22, but also I do want to provide some updates specifically about Turkey Thicket and some of the capital investments as it relates to parks and recreation. And this was a request of Commissioner Higgins, so I'm happy to do that. So I just want to first off start off by saying that the mayor's FY22 Fair Shot budget is one that honors the sacrifice of all of us, right? All of our residents during COVID-19 by really setting up our communities for a strong recovery in the areas of our academics, our economy, but also our physical and mental health, which is really important. With this budget, we all are doubling down on our commitment to building back to a stronger and more equitable Washington, DC. So our response over the past year and a half has really been unprecedented. There really isn't a precedent, maybe 1918, but you can see that I think we all can agree that there's a lot to be proud of. We've worked together as a community to ensure that our residents' basic needs are met, including meals and shelter. We have supported a citywide transition to distance learning, and as a father of 3, it wasn't easy. And also there's been a partial return and soon to be a full return to in-person learning, which again, as a father of 3, I'm really excited about. We've distributed more than $2 billion in federal and local unemployment benefits. And we've built a very strong testing, tracing, and vaccination program that we all should be proud of. With the mayor's proposed fiscal year 22 budget, we'll continue to build a robust COVID-19 response that will help us to protect residents and communities and keep us all safe. We, of course, are very fortunate that in Washington, D.C., relative to some other jurisdictions, we had a pretty financially strong sort of fiscal condition. And our budgetary decisions throughout the response have been prudent and involved the targeted reduction in agency spending, strategic and measured use of available reserves, and a maximum use of federal relief funds. And these prudent measures have allowed us to avoid drastic cuts to public services, to maintain a strong financial foundation for future growth. And as we'll talk about, we're able to now make some big investments and solutions that'll help to keep our city moving forward. So what I'd like to do now is just to talk a little bit about some of the investments and some targeted areas that may be of interest in this budget. You should know that there are pillars for equitable recovery, and there's some things that we've prioritized, such as supports for businesses and residents that have been hardest hit by the economic crisis, access to safe and affordable housing, reducing gun violence, accelerating student learning, with increase to childcare, reducing health inequities, and continuing to build a stronger and more inclusive economy. So I want to highlight investments in three areas. The first being academic acceleration. The mayor is proposing a 3.6% increase in the foundational level of uniform per student funding formula, plus increased weights for English language learners and at-risk students. The mayor is also proposing $8 million to expand school-based mental health services to all of the remaining DC public and DC charter schools that don't currently have this service, and also an additional $10 million in grants to charter schools to assist with reopening fully in person for the 2021 to 22 school year. And I'm really excited about this last one, nearly $420 million over the next 6 years to improve our parks, recreation facilities, and libraries. And in fact, there are some excellent proposals for recreation in Ward 5, including the Cromell School, of course, the Fort Lincoln Recreation Center, the Arboretum Recreation Center, and several others that maybe we'll have time to discuss a bit later. Next, I want to talk about gun violence. There is a proposed $11 million to support returning citizens with cash assistance, financial coaching, and peer navigators as they transition from incarceration back into the community. There is a proposed $2.3 million to expand trauma-informed mental health services, and an additional $3.4 million to add 100 new slots to the MPD cadet program. Now, in the third area, I'd like to talk about health and how we can build a high quality network of care as a city. There is $15 million to support small businesses and residents whose health insurance premiums are in the rear. And there's $13 million to increase supports and crisis response for mental health and substance abuse issues. Now in the areas of COVID-19 response, again, we are, while there's light at the end of the tunnel, we are still in a public health emergency, and there's a proposed $75 million to support ongoing testing, vaccination, isolation, quarantining services, cleaning, PPE, and other needs associated with our emergency response. And there's also $9.5 million to enhance oversight, accountability, tracking and evaluation and monitoring of the district's nearly $3.4 billion in federal COVID relief funds. And last but not least, just to add a fourth, I don't want to forget about the third, affordable housing. As you are likely aware, the mayor is committed to adding an additional 36,000 units by 2025. And this year, she has proposed a historic $400 million investment in a housing production trust fund and $42 million for project sponsor-based vouchers to make housing affordable for low-income residents. And as Ms. Butler, our Ward 5 liaison, mentioned, there's nearly $325 million in proposed rent and utility assistance to prevent evictions through the Stay DC program, which is an excellent program. And I continue on a personal level just to spread the word to those that I know personally that have been impacted by COVID and are having issues paying their rent and such. So with that being said, those are just a few highlights from the mayor's proposed budget. It is before the council now, and there are a series of budget engagement hearings. So I would encourage you, if you are passionate about a specific issue, as a resident, you have the ability to participate in those various budget hearings, and DPRs was on Monday. Now I'd like to transition to just an update about Turkey Thicket Recreation Center. As many of you all are aware, a few weeks ago at the end of May, that center was closed for a capital project. Nearly $3 million have been allocated to replace the HVAC system and to make repairs to that roof. Those are much needed repairs. That center, for all intents and purposes, was extremely difficult to keep open during the summer months. So the timing is something we decided to do it in the during the summer months because, of course, that is when we are most at risk of failure, of HVAC failure, and not being able to keep that facility open. So the project is being managed by the Department of General Services. And again, the scope includes a full HVAC replacement and also roof improvements. And at this time, this project is scheduled to be completed in early 2022. So that is that January to February timeframe. And if we hear something different as an agency, we will be sure to relay that information to the community. I am proud to share that we have reopened 21 outdoor pools, including several that are in Ward 5, and they're weekend-only service through this weekend. But beginning on Monday, we're opening up these outdoor pools for 6 days a week, and that includes Theodore Hagen, Harry Thomas, and of course the Langdon Park Recreation Center and that pool and splash pad there, which is one of my favorites. So with that being said, I'll pause for any questions about any Ward 5 projects or any comments about the mayor's proposed budget. Thank you.
Any questions?
So I have an SMD question for Delano. Hey, how you doing there?
I'm well. Good to see you, sir.
Great, good to see you as well. Hey, so I have an outstanding 311 ticket coming from a constituent here in 5B04. Several constituents, they're very concerned with Noise Park. They feel that the trash can, one trash can in particular, is too close to the playground. And because of the location of the trash can, kids are often touching the trash can. And so a request was put in several months ago, and to see if that trash can could be relocated somewhere in the park so it's not so close to the play equipment. And I can't seem to get any follow-up on that. Do you think you can help me out? I thought.
Sure. Tommy Jones, also a Ward 5 resident, is DPR's Chief of External Affairs. If you could wave Tommy, he is taking notes, and we'll follow up with you, Commissioner, about this request.
Okay, great. And I have a number if you need it, Tommy.
Commissioner, I'll reach out to you offline, and we'll have our team to look into that.
Absolutely. I really appreciate that, man. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Commissioner.
This is Commissioner Higgins. I was interested as to whether or not at Taft or Dwight Mosley, if we'll be having some mobile activities this year. We had a couple of activities last summer, which I think really had a major impact. Again, I know I keep beating this drum about my recreation center being gone at Taft, and it's been gone a number of years. And, you know, money's not being available, but I know some activities came to that complex. The community really enjoyed it. And I wanted to know if we could, you know, move further with that this summer, because it does make a difference. And the children, the community, the households, they really enjoy that. So can we double down and get more of that this year?
Well, I'm happy to say yes, and I'll tell you why. I love being able to deliver good news. Just last week, the council approved the mayor's supplemental budget request, which includes funding for efforts for violence prevention, right? And but not just that. We know that I personally believe that the best form of intervention is prevention and building a sense of community, but also promoting positive usages of community. It's easy to say, hey, you know, we don't want this particular activity. Well, the best way is to provide a proactive usage for it. And we know that just from past experience, those mobile recreation, those movie nights, the skate mobiles, the rock wall from our roving leaders division help to activate spaces and get communities together. So there is increased funding for that. And I will commit in this public forum that we will do activations at Taft Field. And in fact, Tommy will note that he works closely with the roving leaders. So the funding was just approved last week, and that'll increase our capacity capacity. So we'll work with you to on some dates for this summer. And specifically, I'm speaking between now and Labor Day. We'll make sure that we can get out there during the month of July and also for August. Now, as it relates to the center, I would encourage everyone to pay close attention. We're going to release our Ready to Play master plan. So Ready to Play is the name for DPR's 20-year master planning project. And one of the things we're looking closely at are where there are gaps in recreation, so gaps in services. So we know in certain communities there's a desire for or need for more dog parks, a need for maybe community gardens. Others, they need comprehensive recreation centers, or maybe as we start to, recreation has evolved certainly since the 1950s and 60s, really to keep up with 21st century recreation demands. And we will look at gaps. I grew up in the city at a time when the majority of parks and recreation facilities were co-located, right? My facility, my home recreation center was Fort Lincoln, which is, it was recently demolished about a year or so ago. That co-located model, which is what we had at Taft, is something that, no longer is in favor. But we are looking at certain gaps in recreations in certain areas. So when you see those public comments, that public comment is an opportunity for you all to say, well, hey, you hit this on the nail on the head in this area, but maybe you didn't consider this. I do know that the mayor and Councilmember McDuffie and others look at that feedback to help determine where we make our capital investments for years to come.
Thank you so much. Do we have any other questions? We have a wealth of information, and Mr. Hunter, we need to get it all out this evening. I'm telling you, this is the platform. This is the platform. Any other questions for Mr. Hunter? All right. Well, I thank you, Mr. Hunter, and I really appreciate you accepting the invitation to come. And I really appreciate the great presentation, and I look forward to working with your office.
All right, thank you so much. And I'll place my email in the chat in case folks have one-off questions. And Mr. Jones, if you're still on, if you can do the same, you can email either one of us. We work very closely together. We'll make sure we get you an answer to your to yours and other commissioners' questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank
All
you
right,
so
you take
much.
care. Have a good one.
All right. So at this time, we will have Miss Vanessa Newton Bernard, the Associate Director at the Department of Motor Vehicles.
Good evening. How's everyone? Thank you for opportunity to come.
Can you turn your volume up just slightly? We can barely hear you.
Okay, you know what? I can try to call in on the phone and see if you can hear it better that way. The volume is up on my computer. Can you hear me better? Okay, hold on.
Welcome to WebEx. Enter your access. Enter your attendee ID number, followed by tab.
Can you hear me better now? Okay. So again, my name is Vanessa Newton Bernard, and I'm the Associate Director for DMV, and I appreciate this opportunity to give you all an update on some things that are happening at the agency. One of the first things that I want to let you all know is that DMV is moving away from the appointments only starting on July 19th. So the agency will honor all the appointments that residents have from now until July 17th. Then starting on July 19th, we will then begin offering walk-in services. Prior to that, to help with the flow, we will have special days where customers will be able to come into our Southwest Service Center, which is at 95 M Street, Southwest. The first of those days will be this Sunday, June 27th, from 8:15 a.m. to 4 p.m. Then we will also be open on Saturday, July 3rd, as well as Sunday, July 11th, and Sunday, July 18th. And again, those will all be at our Southwest Service Center, which is at 95 M Street, Southwest, and the hours will be from 8:15 a.m. to 4 p.m. The only areas where you will need to make an appointment is if you are having a hearing. So if you're having a hearing, especially for major and minor moving violations at our adjudication services, you will need to make an appointment to have a hearing. You will also need to continue to make an appointment for road tests. And that was our operational status prior to the public health emergency, so it's not changing in that way. Additionally, I wanted to let everybody know that we extended the credentials, so your driver's license and your identification card will be valid until September 9th of this year. So we encourage people, if you already have a Real ID compliant credential, which is the one with the black star on the top right-hand side, we encourage you to renew your credential online, which you can do on our website, which is dmv.dc.gov. You can also do that through our free mobile app. However, if you are a person who needs to come in to make an appointment, we ask that you be prepared and bring the documents that you need so that we are able to complete your transaction in one visit. And so what you will need is one proof of identity, and that typically is either your birth certificate or your valid U.S. passport. You will need one proof of your Social Security number, and you will need two proofs of D.C. residency. Now, we accept quite a bit different documents for proof of residency, but they are listed on our website. And again, that's dmv.dc.gov. And if you click on License and ID, there is a link there for obtaining a Real ID driver license or identification card, and you can click on there and it will show you the list of documents that we accept for proof of DC residency. So for example, we'll accept your PEPCO bill, your water bill, your electric bill. Anything that you bring has to be, a utility bill has to be within 60 days of your appointment or your day that you're visiting the service center. Let's see. Oh, I also wanted to remind everyone that we now have the ticket amnesty. The ticket amnesty will go on until September 30th of this year. So any tickets that were issued prior to September 30th, 2021, even though I know we're not there yet, it will just be for the base fine. So right now, all fines have been removed, and it's just any penalties, anything else has been removed, excuse me, not the base fine, just the penalties. So if you, for example, if you had a ticket that was $100 and it had doubled to $200, it is now $100. You can pay your tickets online, or you can use our free mobile app. And that's available in the App Store and the Google Play Store, and that's just another way. You can also pay your tickets I know some people don't feel comfortable with technology. They would prefer to mail it in, which you can, and what we ask is that you be sure to write your ticket number on your check or money order. And that's important because if you have multiple tickets and you don't write down the number, then that money will be applied to the oldest ticket. And what sometimes people don't realize is that either they have an older ticket that they've forgotten about, or they had a specific ticket that they wanted to pay. So please be sure if you mail it in that you let us know which ticket you are specifically paying. I also wanted to remind people that our inspection station is open Tuesday through Saturday. That is on a first-come, first-served basis. So you can come at any time that we're open. Right now we're on spring hours, so we're open from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. We also have our kiosk, which is at the Tacoma Rec Center, and that's available 24/7, so residents can feel free to drive up there and do a self-inspection. Your car has to be from 2005 or newer. So if you have an older vehicle, then you will need to come into the inspection station. If you have a relatively newer vehicle, then you can use the OBD kiosk. So those were the things that I wanted to just give highlights on. Does anybody have any questions that I can answer for you?
I do. My name is Carol Fleming. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Can you walk in if you need to get a real ID for the first time, or do you have to make an appointment?
If you're, do you have, so you don't have a real ID compliant license at all, is that what you're saying?
That's right.
Okay, then yes. Right now, we have appointments that are available, so we are taking appointments up until July 17th. After that, starting on July 20th, which is when the service centers open, which is a Tuesday, they're open Tuesday through Saturday, then it will be a walk-in service. So if you tried to come in tomorrow, no, you would not be able to do it because you would need an appointment. But if you come in, let's say on Sunday we're offering the walk-in service at the Southwest Service Center, you could do that. If there was a different service center that you wanted to go to, let's just say Rhode Island, then you would, and you wanted to walk in, you would not be able to do that until July 20th.
So in other words, if you get in the real ID and you bring your documents and I just walk in after July the 20th without an appointment, somebody will see me.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Does anybody else have any questions? Okay,
No
if you don't.
questions? Okay, this has
I'm
been
surprised.
easy today. Yeah. I thank you so much for coming and presenting with us today. I appreciate your time and thank you for the wealth of information. And we look forward to speaking with DMV another time.
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
All right, you take care. Enjoy. All right. So next on our agenda, we have Barrington Tolliver, and which reached out to us in reference to Murray McLeod Bethune Day School, the parent involvement coordinator. Are we on the line? Okay, let's see. I can't hear you. Your line is unmuted, but we can't hear you. Hello? Mr. Tolliver?
He froze. There you go.
Okay, maybe he will be calling back in. All right, so we'll give him a moment, but we will go ahead and move further down our agenda. I will turn this portion of the meeting over to our treasurer, Commissioner Amin, in reference to ANC 5B's fiscal year 21 Q1 report. Commissioner Amin.
Thank you, commissioners. Commissioners, I think everyone's received FY21 Q1 report. Do you have that accessible? We need to pull it up.
Wait 1 second, Commissioner Amin. Mr. Tolliver, are you back? Mr. Tolliver? Okay, I'm sorry. Commissioner Amin, proceed.
Yes, commissioners, do you have your FY21 Q1 report in front of you? Do we need to pull that up?
I have it up and I can share my screen if that's easier.
Yeah, Commissioner, if you don't mind doing that, since you already have yours, you're ready for screen share?
I do. Do you want to start at the overview or the individual transactions?
No, I think that we really just need to, if you go to, let's go to, I'm sorry, my mind. Let's go to the report. That's what I want to say. Not the transaction sheet, the report sheet.
Can you see this on my screen?
I can't.
Yes.
Okay.
Wait a minute. Page unresponsive. Wait for it to become responsive. Okay. Wait. I don't see it yet. Can everyone else see it?
Yes, the quarterly financial report is up for Q1. It's on our screen.
All right. Well, I don't see it, but I don't know. Meeting in progress. Let me see. Wait. I don't know,
But if you
Commissioner.
have your copy, you could just read from your copy because we can see it.
Okay, great. Let me do that. Can you still hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna pull up my copy from so I can see it. So I think he's back.
Yeah.
Commissioner Amin, you can go ahead and proceed. Commissioner Amin, please proceed.
I think we got one on and we lost the other.
Okay.
I'll stop sharing for the moment and maybe we'll see.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Tolliver, are you back?
Yes, I am. Sorry about
there you
that.
go. No, that's okay. You have the floor, sir.
Okay. Well, I won't be long. I'll be brief, everyone. Thank you, Commissioner Higgins, for giving me the opportunity to speak on behalf of Mary McLeod Bethune-Day Academy Public Charter School. I want to say first that MMBDA is a IB school. We have teachers who come from 14 different countries. Our school is comprised of a Spanish language immersion school. We have two campuses, one in Ward 4, but one also in Ward 5, which is my headquarters. Our teacher ratio to students is for every 10 students, we have one instructor. But primarily right now, our focus, since we're coming pretty much out of the pandemic, our focus has been making sure that our students as well as staff all stay safe. We've made a couple of accommodations to the school, making sure that everyone is safe, such as temperature checking. We have petitions in each and every classroom. Desks and everything are spaced across so students can also be safe. But we also make sure that we monitor the flow of traffic. So we have signs and we have sanitizer stations and so on around the school. But also, right now we're in our Excel camp for 2 weeks. It started actually on Monday, and it will end on July the 2nd. A 2-week program, and then we will transition into our summer school program, which starts on July the 6th until July the 30th. So that's about 24 days approximately. But what I want to say before I get off the phone is that the need for, let's say, our students to continue, as well as our parents to continue being, I would say, safe, as well as using the resources that we have in our community. I know I reached out to Commissioner Higgins because I know it's so important for our parents as well as our community to understand what our community has, all of the dynamic resources that have come before me even speaking tonight, such as from Mr. Hunter as well as Mr. Bernard. Those things are resources I would like to share with our families. And I'll end with this. My telephone number to reach me is area code 202-299-2183. But the school's number, main number is 202-459-4710. We are in a recruitment phase right now. Our school starts from pre-K3 to the 8th grade. We don't have a high school, but our students transition to our feeder schools within our ward. So that's all I have. If there are any additional questions, you can reach out to me by telephone, as well as my email address is b.tolliver@mmbethune.org. And so I thank you, Commissioner Higgins, as well as everyone else. And I look forward to continuing with being a part of the meetings. Thank you so much.
Yes, and Mr. Tolliver, I think I want to formally, I'm not sure if you've already met Commissioner Piekara. She is the ANC Single Member District Commissioner for the school. So she will be your point of contact for all things Bethune. So Commissioner Piekara, you want to say a couple of things while Mr. Tolliver is on the line?
No, just thank you for being on tonight and for presenting this important information, and I look forward to working together.
Likewise, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All right, thank you. And we will shift our meeting back to our treasurer, Commissioner Amin. You have the floor, sir.
Yeah, commissioners, can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Right, great. All right, so Commissioner, if you pull up that report, I can pull up the same report on my end.
And this is showing me.
So you're looking at the QFR, right?
Yes, hold on. Sorry, I tried to pull everything up and now this is blocking. There we go. Okay.
Right. Okay, Commissioner. So this is your FY 20 Q1 report here. I think everyone's had time to review it. And you have your page 2, which is your transaction sheet that showed all of your transactions. And Commissioner Piekara, you had a question, correct?
I did, but it looks like it's resolved here. So thank you very much.
Yeah, it did. The adjustment. Thank you for that. The adjustment was made, and on the thing, but it won't show. It didn't show up because it would have had to be made in. It didn't take care of the point that you were making, eliminate the negative balance, starting balance, because it would have had to be made in FY20 Q4, and we made it in FY20 Q1.
Got it. Okay.
Got it, but we're watching it. That's a software thing, and it should show up. And let's just stay on it, okay?
Thank you for doing the work on that. I appreciate it.
Hey, thank you for it. It was a really good question. OAC enjoyed the question as well. I took it to them, and yeah, so that brings us here. So, commissioners, I move that we approve and we accept FY21 Q1.
I second the motion.
Okay, the motion has been placed on the floor and seconded. All those in favor of approving the ANC 5B fiscal year 21 Q1 report, state aye. And if you'd like to do a roll call, we can do so.
Roll call, please, Madam Chair.
Okay, ANC 5B01.
Aye.
ANC 5B03.
Aye.
ANC 5B04.
Aye.
ANC 5B05.
Aye.
And ANC 5B02. Aye. The motion has been placed on the floor and seconded. The ayes have it, 5 in favor, no objections, no abstentions, so moved. Commissioner Amin, you have the floor again.
Commissioners and Commissioner Piekara, if you could assist, you can pull up FY21 Q2 QFR. That's your page 1. If you can access that.
Can you see my screen? It already is up.
I can't see it, but that's fine because I can look at my screen,
Okay.
and we're looking at the same thing. Just not at the we're looking at the same report, of course. So here's your commissioners. Here's your FY20 1 Q2 report. And Commissioner Costello, you had a question about, was that you who had the question about the releasing of the allotments earlier in the Treasury report?
That was
yeah.
that was Prita.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I do know this, Commissioner Piekara, that FY21 Q2 releases FY21 Q4.
FY20 Q4. Okay, got it.
Yeah. So this releases, and this is an imperative report because it's due. Okay. So commissioners, this is your FY21 Q1. Commissioner Piekara, you had a question.
I did. I'm sorry. I seem to always have the questions. I noticed that, so from Q1, we had, let's see here, October, November, and December's rent. And then on Q2, we go February, March, April. Did we miss, do we still owe January's, or did that get mixed up
No,
somewhere?
no, Commissioner. Commissioner, that's a great question. And let I should start by saying that we're current.
Okay.
We have not missed a rent payment. That is my mistake on the transaction sheet. That check number 1266 should be January's rent.
Oh, okay. On the
I just need to go back, and you see where we have October rent, November rent, and December's rent on transaction sheet.
Yep.
So that should be track 1266 is January's rent. Track 1265 is December's rent.
Got it.
And then check 1264 is November's rent.
Got it. Thank you very much.
All right. I think that was the only question that I received from commissioners. Yes. Yeah. So commissioners, Commissioner Piekara, like stated earlier, this will release our Q4. We have to get this in pretty much immediately because of the fiscal year restraints that we're all very familiar with. And so I put a motion on the floor that ANC 5B accept FY21 Q2 report.
Second the motion.
Thank you, Carley.
A motion has been placed on the floor to accept the ANC 5B fiscal year 21 Q2 report, transaction report as well. All those in favor say aye. We're going to do a roll call, please. ANC 5B01.
Aye.
ANC 5B03.
Aye.
ANC 5B04.
You know I say aye.
ANC 5B05.
Aye.
ANC 5B02. Aye. The motion has been placed on the floor, seconded. The ayes have it. 5 in favor, no objections, no abstentions. So moved. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioners. And one more thing, Chair Higgins, I'd like to add, Commissioner Piekara, we actually need those minutes from this meeting and the special meeting.
Okay.
Because they have to accompany these reports as we sign and send them in. And so we need those special meeting members that was held.
Okay.
And we also need these meetings as soon as possible so we can remain in compliance, Commissioners.
Absolutely. I'll have it to you by the end of the day tomorrow. Does that work?
Commissioner, that would be wonderful, but I do understand that we're all working, we all have other responsibilities. So I just want to put that out there and put it on the record that we should keep moving diligently at the pace that we're moving, okay?
Thank you, Commissioner. I will have that to you.
Great, thank you. Thank you, Commissioner.
All right, Commissioner Amin, don't go anywhere. The Monroe Street proposed bike lane resolution is next.
Thank you again, Chair Higgins. Chair Higgins, as you know, as indicated, this is a shared resolution, it's an ANC 5B project, but it was shared between two single amendment districts, separated on Monroe Street from 5B02, Commissioner Higgins, and 5B004, me, Commissioner Amin. As indicated by the commission, it's a very well done resolution. And my screen is going blank. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah. I'm sorry. My screen was just kind of like doing this thing. So, like indicated, it's a very well-written commission, and I just want to say that many people have worked on this project for many years to get us to the point where we're actually have the notice of intent issued, and now what's waiting is the resolution from ANC 5B. So it's pretty long. And again, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I will give you it's an ANC 5B resolution on Monroe Street Northeast Protective Bike Lane Project. And I will read you your resolved clauses. And this will be up. This will be up for the community. It will be on my website, and on Commissioner Higgins' website, and hopefully ANC 5B's website. So therefore, be it resolved that
And
ANC.
sorry, not to interrupt you, but just so you know, Commissioner, I do have it up on the screen. I've got your resolution shared as well.
Oh, wonderful. Let me come out of my own personal workbook here, Commissioner. Thank you. That's so wonderful, Commissioner Piekara. Okay, yes. Thank you so much. So thank you. Okay. Therefore, be it resolved that ANC 5B supports DDOT's Monroe Street Safety Improvement and Protected Bike Lane Project because it will improve traffic safety and increase comfort for people walking and biking in the corridor. Be it further resolved that ANC 5B urges DDOT to continue to connect Monroe Street Northeast to the protected bike lanes on Irving Street to complete the Brooklyn to Columbia Heights Crosstown projected bicycle route. So, commissioners, I put this resolution up for a vote for ANC 5B to approve a resolution on the Monroe Street Protected Bike Lane Project.
I'll second that.
Thank you, Commissioner.
The motion has been placed on the floor and seconded by Commissioner Piekara. Call for the vote. All those in favor of the resolution for the Monroe Street proposed bike lane, roll call. ANC 5B01.
Support.
ANC 5B03.
Support.
ANC 5B04.
Support.
ANC 5B05.
Aye.
ANC 5B02. Aye. The ayes have it. 5 in favor, 0 against, and 0 abstentions. All right, so at this time, we're going to move forward with Commissioner Piekara for her resolution for sidewalk installation of specific blocks in ANC 5B03.
Thank you very much, Commissioner. So much like Commissioner Amin, I'm not going to have to read all of it, but as we all know, sidewalks are incredibly important for safety, for accessibility, for children, seniors, those with accessibility needs and wheelchairs, mobility assistance across the board. So want to make sure that we are adding, in addition to repairing all of the sidewalks that we have some issues with, but we also need to add some to ensure that our constituents are safe and have a safe place to walk and travel. So these are the sidewalks that have been requested, and after talking with DDOT, we prioritize them based on the ones that have no sidewalks on either side of the street first, and going down to one of the sidewalks that has, there's already one sidewalk on one side. So we've got 15th Street between Franklin Street Northeast and Hamlin. I know that there also is a hill there, so it gets really dangerous as cars kind of speed by. So hoping to get that sidewalk installed as soon as possible, as well as Girard Street from 14th to about halfway between 15th and 16th. The sidewalk starts on Girard and 14th and then ends kind of abruptly. So like to have that on both sides. Extending the partial sidewalk on that one side of Girard. Then we've got both sides of Hamlin Street between 17th Street and 18th Street. Right now there is a lot of construction happening there, as well as some of the auto shops, which also park their cars on the street. So there's no kind of lip or safe spot for anyone to walk outside of in the middle of the road. So get that there. Same thing on Jackson Street Northeast. There is no sidewalk on either side between 16th and 17th. So we'd like to put a request in for that. And then finally on 17th Street, which we know from our previous meeting has a lot of speeding, there's a stretch between Jackson and Irving near the church where there is no sidewalk on that side. So I know that's a lot all in one list, but I would like to put that motion on the floor to ensure that 5B03 has accessible sidewalks across the neighborhood.
All right, Commissioner Piekara has placed a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
I second.
All right, the motion has been placed on the floor and seconded. Call for the vote. ANC 5B01.
Aye.
ANC 5B03.
Aye.
ANC 5B04.
Aye.
ANC 5B05.
Aye.
ANC 5B02. Aye. The ayes have it. 5 in favor, 0 against, and 0 abstentions. Thank you so much, Commissioner Piekara. We're going to move forward to Commissioner Costello for BZA case number 20504.
And let me see, actually, I'll stop. Do you have your resolution up, Commissioner Costello, or do you want me to pull it up on my end? Or application?
It was just a form. It was just a form 129, no resolution. So let me see if I can pull it up. Give me 1 second.
I have it here too, or if you want any of the attachments to go through.
Yeah, let's just do the attachments. If you have the one,
the photos,
called,
or the...
give me 1 sec, called Plans and Elevation.
Yep.
Great, thanks. So this is actually pretty simple. Some residents want to add a 1-story porch on the back of their house. Everything meets the zoning requirements with the exception of the side yard setback requirement. Under current zoning code, they're required to have an 8-foot setback for their side yard between their property, between the structures on their property and their property line. With the new addition, the setback would be about 2 feet short of that 8-foot requirement. So they're just asking for relief from the 8-foot setback requirement. I've heard from a lot of neighbors. They've all expressed their support. It sounds like these residents have a lot of really great neighbors who are great friends with them. So I guess that helps. And I had the chance to hold an SMD meeting where I met with the neighbors and the architect. They presented the plans and also had really good feedback there from members of the community. So I am asking our commission to approve their request so that they can get their project done. And actually, before we move on, I don't know if Mr. Putnam is on or the Sissels, but I did invite them to join our meeting tonight if they wanted to speak or present. So let me just pause and see if they're here. Mr. Putnam, are you on?
I am
Great.
on, yes.
Okay, great. So if anyone has any questions, Bill is here and available to answer them. Otherwise, I think this seems like a pretty straightforward request. So I ask for your approval. Okay, no questions. Then I'm going to move that we, oh, sorry, Commissioner Piekara.
Nope.
Okay.
No questions for me.
Okay, got it. Then I'm going to ask, I'm going to move that the commission approve my form 129 that I shared with you all, which expresses ANC 5B's support for their variance request.
Okay, the motion has been placed on the floor. Is there a second?
I second.
Okay, the motion has been placed on the floor and seconded. Call for the vote. 5B01.
Aye.
5B03.
Aye.
5B04.
Support.
5B05.
Aye.
And 5B02. Aye. The motion has been placed on the floor and seconded. 5 in favor, No abstentions and no objections. So moved.
Great. Thank you all
Thank
very
you
much.
very much. All right, so at this time, we will move to Commissioner Carley for her single member district report. Commissioner Carley, you have the floor.
I'm sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
I don't have a lot to report. I usually try to get information out to my community as soon as possible. I would like to say I received a complaint about an overflow dumpster at one of the churches in my area, and that issue has been resolved. The dumpster should have been removed when the services stopped. And so they emptied the can or serviced the dumpster yesterday, and it should be. I checked yesterday to see if it was serviced, and it was. And so I have not stopped by there today, which I plan to do because they hold the services this evening. I have some other issues that I need to address with them. So once I go down there, I'll see whether or not they remove that that dumpster. And I also will ask the manager who's renting out the church to other congregations whether or not they're going to put a new service in place. And once I get that information, I will share it. And is there something else? There was something else. Oh, I'm getting a lot of complaints about unleashed dogs in the area. And so I am going to put something out in the newsletter as well as in an email, and also alert people to what the penalty is for having an unleashed dog. And I understand you love your pets and you think they're friendly and happy, but the worst thing you want to do is be able to start your sentence out with that dog never did that before, he or she never did that before. So please leash your dogs, keep everyone safe, and respect everyone who's walking on the sidewalks or street or however they traveling. Thank you.
Commissioner Carley, Commissioner Piekara, your single member district report.
Yes, ma'am. So a couple of things to report. We have, through Sidewalk Palooza, some ANC commissioners have been participating in being very intentional about notifying 311 and DDOT about sidewalk repair needs. So in the last week, last 2 weeks, we have about 28 in 5B03 requests in. If there are any that you've noticed, feel free to shoot them my way on the off chance that I missed them. I'm trying to kind of pick different streets and routes for our evening walk to make sure that I'm covering as much territory as possible, and hopefully we can get some safe sidewalks and everything repaired on that front. I've also had some constituents reach out, and actually, Commissioner Amin, you and I might need to talk about this because it spans both of our SMDs, but sounds like there might have been a potential increase in rats around 14. It sounds like between 12th and 14th on Kearney and Lawrence. So some of my constituents have reached out about that. I know there's some 311 requests. There's potentially a vacant building. Also conversations with potentially the some of the businesses along 12th to try to figure out where the cause is. So that was brought to my attention yesterday. Today, the days are blending together. So we will be working on that. If anyone else has seen an increase in rats in their area, please let us know. And Commissioner, I'll connect with you offline and we can see if we can tag team on this. And then finally, some of you were able to join us. ANC 5B03 had a joint session with the BNCA last week to talk about the increase in gun violence on the Rhode Island Strip, specifically around the Brentwood Triangle. We had a great meeting with a lot of different stakeholders involved, including the MOKers, Violence Intervention. We had representatives or the director from the new Building Blocks program, really focused on gun violence. So it was a very productive meeting. Where we are on that is we've decided to come together as a community and try to bring together all stakeholders business owners, residents, folks from Brooklyn Manor, city officials to come up with a sort of a code of conduct or a good neighbor agreement of sorts. Obviously not legally enforceable, but hopefully if we can get on the same page about expectations from our community, that's a good place for us to start dialogue, because I think there's a lot of different factors that go into this. So I'm going to be sending around some of those materials, including the slide deck that I had for our BNCA meeting. But I'm going to set up a survey form. We're also going to have a follow-up meeting. I'm trying to juggle different schedules, but I'm hoping to have it in the middle of July. So we'll bring those stakeholders back together and have everyone kind of weigh in on what they think this could look like. But I'll send out around a survey as well. If you are not able to make it to the meetings, or if you just have thoughts on what this could look like, would love your input and your weigh in. But I know that we are all very concerned about this increase in violence. The traditional channels of MPD and others have not always been the most effective, and so we're going to try something new. And we've heard from the mayor's office that they were able to implement something like this in Ward 8 with a lot of success. So we figure we'll give it a try here. So feel free to reach out. I'll make sure that my information is in the chat, but would love to have as many people part of that process as possible. And that is it for me.
Thank you, Commissioner Piekara. Commissioner Amin.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I want to start by, since we did not have a representative from 5D tonight, I just want to remind the community that 5D CAC meets tomorrow at 7 p.m. We have a virtual WebEx meeting where you can get PSA updates and talk directly to our captains and commanders and sergeants. We have our guest tomorrow is, I hope I get this right, because Curl's on the line today, and so is Miss Penn, I heard. So the U.S. Attorney, Philip D. Channing, will be our special guest tomorrow evening. So you can tune on in for that. And I think, Carol, if you're on the line, where did we post that information? Is it on listserv or?
I put it on the Brooklyn listserv.
Right.
Yeah. So
right.
If anybody's interested, we can send them the link.
Right. So if Carol, can you put the link in the chat? Can you do that, or should we just send it out?
I think we should just send it out.
Okay, great. Or you can contact me directly. The community can contact me directly, and we can make sure you get that. But you can get your 5D update, have some one-on-one time with all of your commanders and captains and chiefs tomorrow, as well as engage the. Carl, did I get his title right this time? U.S. General, U.S. Attorney?
No, acting U.S. Attorney.
Yeah. Yeah.
Channing Phillips.
Yeah, Carl has to correct me all the time. She's my extra eyes on everything that we do over there. And also, I just wanted to remind the community over here at 5B04, we've been moving right along. We've been meeting our goals and targets as far as the things that we wanted to work on as a single member district, as you can tell. And I just wanted to remind the community that the ANC will be going on summer hiatus for July and August, but I will mostly be around the community. So feel free to reach out to me, and I will be working with my 9th Street Safe Street team on the speed hump and the changing the status of 9th Street to get a local street, so that therefore we can make some decisions about Commissioner Piekara getting a sidewalk there and getting some landscaping there. But first we have to get the status changed. And also I will be convening with our Reed Street team, the redesign of Reed Street, where Reed Street's being redeveloped, but the goal is to turn Reed Street between Rhode Island Avenue and Franklin Street into a major activity center right here in 5B04 and in 5B that would have everything. So with everything going on, people will be encouraged to walk and bike into Reed Street, and all the things that you need will be there. Most of the things you need, and that's it for 5B04.
Thank you, Commissioner Amin. ANC 5B05.
Yeah, I do have some updates, but it just occurred to me, I don't think you had a chance to do your updates. Did you want to go first, Commissioner? Commissioner Higgins?
No, ma'am. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. So as Commissioner Amin said, we're in recess as a full body for July and August, but I'll still be holding meetings and doing events. We'll be doing at least one more cleanup in July, and I'm going to try and hold some more coffee with Colleen meetings because I understand that a lot of residents can't always be available weeknights. So we're going to mix things up for July and possibly August. A couple of small things, well, small/big. A few residents have contacted me with concerns about truck traffic on 12th Street and have inquired whether we can get truck traffic restrictions. So I'm working with DDOT to kind of figure out what the rules and regulations are on that. We have had some very long-standing concerns about traffic safety on Taylor Street in my SMD, and unfortunately, I get a lot of emails and tweets about this. We seem to be having crashes on Taylor Street on at least a monthly basis, probably more frequently than that, maybe a couple of months. So this is a big problem, and we really do need DDOT to find a solution. So I'm going to be submitting some TSA requests for that. And lastly, although this is not in my SMD, I do know that this is of concern to residents in the neighborhood. An application was recently submitted to the Historical Preservation Board for St. Joseph's Seminary. So I don't know if people will recall the details of this, but as part of the agreement with EYA, the developer of that site, the seminary building itself was supposed to be, they were supposed to submit an application to get the building designated as a historic building. So that application has now been officially submitted. I don't know what the hearing date is for the Historic Preservation Board to review that application, but that is in progress, so that's happening. So just wanted to give people an update on that. Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much. Much appreciated. My report is very brief. A couple of things. There were some issues with shooting, and I know I'm not sure if it was on my side or yours, Commissioner Costello, at the 1300 block. It was on Perry. So that occurred on the 21st of June. And I was hoping that we would get a update in terms of that.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Commissioner Costello.
Oh, I was just going to ask, was that the same night that there was also an armed robbery?
Yes, we had a couple of things going on that evening. So actually, I had saw Captain Moore, I guess last Thursday, and I wouldn't, it was other things going on at TAF that we needed to discuss. So I was hoping that he would be on this evening, but we will have to give that information because I haven't received an update. Have you?
No, I haven't. And actually, a resident told me that one of the incidents occurred, I think, on the 3500 block of 13th Street, which would be in your SMD. So I assumed that if anybody got the update, it would be you. And I haven't gotten anything. So I think that's probably where it fell in terms of the boundary lines. But I'm concerned about this as well. So I'd love to stay in the conversation with you on this and with MPD.
Okay, and just something really brief. We were supposed to have the Ward 5 outdoor story event this week, but due to inclement weather, we had to reschedule that. And the rescheduled date is Tuesday, July 20th. But if your children are very, very excited and can't wait till then, I know that Commissioner Costello, hers will be popping up very shortly, and I'm sure that information has already been posted. So for those of you that are anxious and don't want to wait until July 20th, you can crash Commissioner Costello's story time period.
Or you can do both.
Thank you.
Yes,
Yeah,
or
I was
you
going to
can do
say, come to
both.
both of them. I don't know if we're going to be doing different books, but mine is on Friday, July 2nd at 10 a.m. So you've got a couple of different options there. If you're not around the holiday weekend, you can stop by
Right.
Commissioner Higgins' event.
And lastly, I did get a report about some broken apparatus up at Taft. I have sent that information to DPR, working with Tommy Jones at the External Affairs Office, so we can get those items repaired. Is Ms. Fleming still on the line? Is she gone? I wanted to see if she had any additional updates in terms of Dwight Mosley. Ms. Fleming? Okay, she must.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, I can hear you now. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. No, I haven't heard anything about the park at all.
Okay. Okay, thank you. All right, so that concludes my single member district report.
Sorry, I forgot one thing. Do you mind if I jump in? Sorry, just to, as you were talking about story time, it jogged my memory. Just to put on everyone's radar, I'm going to be working with the Sterling, the short-term housing building on 17th and Rhode Island. They're going to be gearing up for back to school, and a lot of the kids are going to be in need of back to school supplies, the pencils, backpacks, notebooks, etc. So just wanted to put that out there. I think we're probably going to do it more officially in September, but as you're out and about, if you see things or happen to be doing some summer cleaning and have some extra items, please set them aside because we would love to take them over there. Okay, sorry, Commissioner.
No problem. All right, this is our community concern period. So have at it.
I know that Ms. Bond, the Master Gardener at UDC, was on earlier and requested to give a brief update. If she, yep, I think she's still on.
Hi, can you see me?
Yes.
Hi, everybody. Good evening. Thanks for giving me a couple of minutes to speak. I'm going to post in the chat box before I forget. But my name is Patricia Bond. I coordinate the Master Gardener program at UDC. It's one of the programs offered by the Center for Urban Agriculture and Gardening Education. The Master Gardener program, the goal is to train DC residents to become volunteers. And sorry, my kids are in the room. It's a difficult time. It's a volunteer training program. So we train residents in basic gardening techniques for food production, for ornamental growing, for trees, for composting, for several different aspects of gardening and care of green spaces. So basically we train volunteers. The full training happens from September to December. It's going to be 16 weeks of training. The classes are on Wednesday evenings from 6 to 9. Applications are open. We're offering financial aid, and applicants will be chosen using a lottery system. So we'll have the same number of students in the cohort from each ward. And I think that's all I have. To be very brief, I put my information in the chat box. If anybody wants to find out more, feel free to call or email me. And the website's in the chat box as well. And I'm sorry about this.
Yeah. Hi, Patricia. It's Ra.
Hi, Ra. How are you?
I'm well. Great class. We had a great class last night in container gardening, didn't we?
Yeah, that was a great class. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, no, the whole series has been great.
Thank you. Yeah, we so part of the program also is we have a series of continuing education classes. We have Brenda Platt coming up. She's going to teach a class on compost. Jake Hendy from the Smithsonian, he's the arborist there. He's going to teach one on pruning. A lot of good stuff. Oh, and Samaria King is teaching the next one from Dreaming Out Loud. That's going to be a good one too. So yeah, a lot of good stuff in the program as well.
Thank you. That sounds great.
Does anybody have any questions about the program? Okay, well, if you do, feel free to reach out, and I'd be happy to speak to you one-on-one, video call, phone call, whatever you like.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Anyone else? Anyone have any questions? I just want to acknowledge Mr. George Williams. And how you doing, Fred? Can we get some smiles? I know we're doing good. It's 8:18. We're not even past 8:30. Come on, can I get some love today? Okay, so no questions.
Is Miss Penn still on the line, Carol?
No, I don't see her anymore.
Oh, I wanted to see if Miss Penn wanted to say something. Yeah.
I just want to, this is Carol again. I just want to say I got a notice that the water will be turned off from 9:35 to up to 4 hours tomorrow on Otis Street.
Yeah, to complete the piping. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hey, Carl, I'm going to work on those minutes as soon as I get off of this meeting. I know that's why you're listening tonight. You're checking to see whether or not I have the. Carl and I share the secretary responsibilities for 5th District CAC. So, Carl, are you spying on me? Pardon me?
I said I've been on it for years, so you're new, but I've been doing this for umpteen years on the CAC.
I know, and you get things done so fast, and I'm chugging along here. But I appreciate your support.
All right. So if no one else has any more questions, comments, or anything, I'd just like to thank you all so very much for joining us this evening. I hope you have. Go ahead. Is that Commissioner Carley?
Thank you so much for managing the time. I love it. You know, I absolutely love it when you manage the time and we get out of here either on by 8:30 and not a minute after. Thank you.
You are quite welcome. You are quite welcome.
Thank you, Commissioner Carley.
All right. So I appreciate you all. Thank you for hanging in there with us. And we just really appreciate you. Please have a safe and wonderful summer. We look forward to seeing everybody in one piece in September. God bless you. The meeting is adjourned. Take care, and we'll see you soon.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.